Hi guys, welcome back to our channel, and today I'm in the Algarve on board an Axopar 37 Suntop I have for sale called DWARF, and I promise you I'm bringing you something unique because this boat is fitted with a Seakeeper 2 stabiliser. I can't wait to show you. Let's go on a tour. So built in 2021 and supplied new by me to her current and one and only owner, DWARF is an Axopar 37 Suntop with an aft cabin, and we're at the transom starting our video to show you that she's got the L6 engines. So these are 350 horsepower Mercury Verados. These are 2.6 litre straight six supercharged engines, and these will propel this boat up to speeds of 46, 47 knots. So serious hardware here, but let's run through, take you through the boat, and I want to try and point out as many of the extras as I can as we go through the boat. So first thing to point out, this water ski frame, really nice for safety, and I say this on a lot of my Axopar videos. I'm sure many owners don't actually use this for water skiing, but from a safety perspective and just being able to hang on at the back, I think this is really important. This boat has the live well, so this is salt water filled, and this is a sealed compartment, so we've got the ability to store fresh fish in here, and this has a saltwater system just replenishing, so it basically fills it up with salt water and keeps the water in this compartment replenished, so it keeps the fish oxygenated and nice and healthy. Really like that extra, don't see that very often. This particular boat has the shower fitted in this locker compartment here, so that's a handheld shower, that's really nice. She's fitted with the Brabus line trim, so she has the black rails and all the metal parts are powder coated in black, and she's got the extra fishing targa arch here, so you've got all these rod holders, and I do love on the back here that you've also got two rod holders in the deck. Note on an Axopar they have fire extinguishers in these two lockers both sides. In case you have any problems with your engines, these fire extinguishers were replaced in 2024, so they weren't just serviced, they were actually replaced and they were new. So nearly 3.5 meters of beam here, and this space is used so well by Axopar. This is standard layout on a 37 Suntop, so 4 forward facing seats and 3 forward facing seats, one of which is for the captain, but these forward seats all swivel, so they then face around this center cockpit table, which just creates such a sociable environment for a day out on the water in this boat. I do like this handhold here in this cockpit, and this fitted to this Suntop, and this boat has the optional extra Webasto sunroof, so this is an electric sunroof that opens and retracts fully, which just floods this space with lots of natural light. We'll talk about the dashboard and we'll go down below in a moment, but as we walk forward, just worth mentioning, as I always do on my videos on these Axopars, this side deck, this bulwark is really very high. Side decks are nice and wide, and this bulwark is very high, so you always feel really safe when you're on an Axopar. But let's go and showcase the front, and I want to point out the sunbathing forward. So we've got the optional extra extended sun pad here, so this cushion, which actually has a storage locker inside it, and this storage locker actually is big enough for all of the outside covers, but this was an optional extra. That's really nice that you've got this extra sunbathing. The cushion on the anchor locker hatch was an optional extra, and that just gives you a bit more seating. And of course we've got gull wing doors. This generation of Axopar had this gull wing door design, and love this for the flow and access through the boat, so you've got either doors open for ventilation or access. That's a really cool feature from an Axopar. And then forward here we've got an anchor locker. Love the fact that the lids are double lined, so they're finished beautifully, and in here we've got a 12 kilogram ultra stainless steel anchor. That was an ultra extra, so the whole windlass system was extra, and this particular boat the captain actually arranged for a claw anchor. I believe that's got 10 meters of chain and over 200 meters of line if they're ever out in deep water, and just to point out that the 12 kilogram ultra anchor has got 30 meters of 8mm chain on there. This is an electric system. We've also got a remote control, which I'll show you now, and that remote control allows you to be anywhere on the boat. It's Bluetooth enabled, and it gives you full control of the windlass, so you can deploy the anchor from the remote or you can operate your bow thruster. Shore power is connected into this area as well, and as you can see, this is all finished really nicely, and it's a nice big storage compartment for fenders and other sorts of boating paraphernalia. But let's go aft and let's go inside the boat and let me show you the forward cabin. This boat's fitted with the toilet compartment, so we've got an electric flush toilet, and that's run from the 100-litre freshwater tank on board. Toilet fills into a black water tank, and you've got seawater and side deck discharge. Don't see this very often, but this boat actually has the shower compartment fitted as well, which I really like. Importantly, this particular boat has the air conditioning system fitted from the factory. This is a 220 volt system, so this only works when you're plugged into shore power. So if you were on board in a marina, then you're going to have this space fully air conditioned, and if somebody was considering this boat as a chase boat and plugged into the mothership from a power perspective, then this would mean anybody in here, crew or whatever, would actually have an air conditioned space overnight. So I really like that as an optional extra in here, and I don't see that very often. This boat has the upgraded sound system, so we've got fusion controller in here, fusion controller in the toilet compartment. We've got the upgraded subwoofer in the center cockpit and speakers throughout, so the sound on here is really nice. And I do love that this particular boat has also the upgraded Mediterranean interior, so that just lifts the quality and the feeling in this space. And of course, these windows in here and these gull wing doors really do make this forward part of this boat feel really very cleverly designed and a really lovely usable space. So I want to showcase the aft cabin, but I'm going to incorporate that into me talking to you about, as I introduced on the video, something very special on this particular boat. Sea Dwarf is fitted with a gyro. So let's talk to you about this gyro and at the same time show you the aft cabin. So first thing I wanted to showcase here is we're on a 37 Suntop with an aft cabin, and we've still got an aft cabin, guys. Loving this. So there isn't enough room to lay for an adult to lay longitudinally, but you could certainly lay across this cabin and you'd absolutely get kids still in this space. This particular installation had some custom cabinetry fitted around the gyro, so actually this feels as though it left the factory like this, and it's all fitted out very nicely. But your gyro is fitted into the void space forward of this aft cabin on an aft cabin Suntop. Obviously, if you have a multi-storage, a gyro would fit in this location easily without the need for all this custom cabinetry. But I wanted to showcase this because I wanted to show you that we've still got an aft cabin in this boat. But let's talk technical. Let's show you the display and talk through the spec of this particular gyro. So this boat's fitted with a Seakeeper gyro stabilizer. Seakeeper's range starts with a Seakeeper 1, which weighs about 166 kilograms. This particular owner wanted the bigger Seakeeper, and although technically the 1 would have worked sufficiently on here, he's had a Seakeeper 2 fitted, which is 186 kilograms. And this is stabilizing bigger boats with bigger weight. So this really is very, very effective stabilization. If we look at the control screen here, we have run up the stabilizer, so the captain puts this on when he's connected to shore power. Now the main reason he does that is that this system has had two 165 amp hour AGM batteries, so maintenance free batteries, and two of them at 165 amp hours each. When this Seakeeper is running and spinning fully, so if we click and see, she's running at 9,000 RPM, so max speed currently. To get her up to that 9,000 RPM takes about 20 minutes, but she can draw up to 60 amp hours whilst it's running up and getting up to full speed. So the captain does that when it's in the marina, connected to shore power. This system had a Victron, an additional Victron charger fitted, just to charge these two AGM batteries. And of course, when it's connected to shore power, it can charge the batteries with more power to top them up, so that 60 amp power draw is keeping these batteries full whilst this thing is getting up to full speed. So now it's not, although the gyro is running, spinning fully at 9,000 RPM, we haven't activated it, so we've got no stabilization, but it is in there spinning. But you'll notice here that once it's up to full speed, we're only drawing about 20 amp hours, 20, 25, depending on how hard that works. Put that into perspective, with over 300 amp hours from these two batteries, that's going to give you over 10 hours of stabilization from your two batteries without having to go back to shore and charge, or indeed start the engines, which will also, through the alternators on each engine, charge those two stabilizer batteries. So we've got here on the screen your roll angle. That would be demonstrating information, and we'll cut into that. We'll get some footage of that. in my information display. It gives me run hours and lots of detail in here, calibration, lots of technical information. But actually this spanner screen here is an interesting one because it's showing me, or would show me, gyro angle, current draw, so how much power are we consuming, the drive temperature. This is a seawater cooled system, just to keep that gyro cool, and it's showing me that it's a 12.5 volt battery, and that's the power that we've got coming in. There's no alarm history on this particular device, and Captain Pedro here tells me that this has worked faultlessly since it was installed. And importantly, as I said, because this is a Seakeeper 2, so it's bigger than what is needed on this boat, there was additional fiberglass strengthening here when the gyro went in, because having that gyro moving with nearly 200 kilograms of weight required some strengthening in the hull. But we're going to head out. We've got some pretty rough weather today, just enough waves to demonstrate the system. We're going to get the drone up in the sky, and we want to show you just how effective this system is. So we've got the stabilizer off. We're in the entrance to the harbour just to give you the extremities, but hopefully you can see. So this is us rolling now, and if I turn the stabilizer on, almost instantly we've stopped moving. We've got a big swell coming at us from the starboard side. Let me turn her off again. So now she's off, and in fact we've got a pattern of some waves coming now. So let me show you again. So we've got no stabilization, and we're rolling. Stabilizer is now on. Guys, this is literally like we've got people chaining us to the seabed. I hope we're conveying this to you on camera. This really is seriously, seriously cool. It's with this screen, and you can see the difference in the wave pattern here with the gyro off on the white squiggle and the gyro on now with the blue. Unbelievable. Hopefully we've showcased the effectiveness of this stabilization. But guys, please let's remember, I'm here to film this particular boat. DWARF is available for sale, and we're here to showcase this. Gyros are brilliant, and I would highly recommend this to any Axopar owner that wanted a gyro. But remember, this gyro is already fitted, it's already been tested, and we know how effective it is on this particular boat available for sale. So let's get on with the rest of our tour, guys. So before we talk about some of the features on the helm, I just want to mention some of the things that we can't see here. So I forgot to mention the transom is fitted with the additional boarding ladder, high handle boarding ladder. That's a really nice feature. This boat is fitted with the full cockpit cover, so it slides into these tracks here and it fully encloses the cockpit. Really nice part of that cover is that the forward section is independently zipped in, so it gives you protection from spray if you wanted to go out on a rough day. This boat has the roof racks. They were optional extra. This boat does also up there have the searchlight, which a lot of people don't tick on the options list, so that's a really nice thing to be fitted. Let's just talk about here everything at the dash, because there are a couple of things that well, we already know about the Seakeeper. I've talked about that and we've demonstrated that, but the owner also fitted a Simrad chart plotter here on this boat. So this isn't provided by Axopar, but that was added to the spec. They also added a precision compass just for high speed manoeuvrability, so that's a lovely optional extra here. This boat has, Axopar call it the information display, but it's the full upgrade of the big 12-inch Simrad screens behind a glass panel, so it just gives that beautiful ergonomic finish to the dashboard. And these two Simrad screens have got everything from the Axopar control page, which is a nice functionality. This checklists give you information before you leave, so if you're forgetting certain things you can go through a safety checklist. It gives you boat status here, and actually it's worth mentioning here we've got 145 hours, so this boat really has done absolutely no hours. We've also got everything you would expect, so full engine mercury control, you've got chart plotter control. This boat also has a radar, so you've got radar, chart plotter, autopilot, Seakeeper, even down to a searchlight. This really is a fully loaded boat. And final little things, VHF radio as you would expect, and I do love the way this is finished off with this Brabus line with the Alcantara on the steering wheel and these little Alcantara details. I think that brings us to the end of our tour. Couple of things to mention. You'll see some lovely high-speed shots in this video, but we did go out. I didn't manage to get it on camera, but we have managed to see 47 knots flat out. I did mention it earlier, but one of the really nice things to see here is that at 30 knots, this boat is only consuming 100 litres an hour. I think at 30 knots, if you do the maths, that's actually a very, very nice economical cruising speed and a really fast economical cruising speed. But really can't stress enough, this is a magical hull. I'm sure you've all watched lots of Axopar videos that talk about the ingenious design and the way this boat rides. It's absolutely subliminal, and hopefully we've captured some of that on the screen today. So she's actively for sale. As I said earlier, she was supplied by me new, one and only owner. She's been serviced every year. Captain Pedro, and thank you for today, Pedro, I do appreciate that, tells me that the boat has been lifted every year. She was lifted in April, anti-fouled, anodes polished. Engines were serviced 2 weeks ago at 140 engine hours. So this boat really is turnkey. If you need any further information, reach out to me directly. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, of course, don't forget to hit like. Please subscribe to our channel, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.